Have you ever felt like life is just this long, hard journey, like you're just trying to get through it? Well, there's this ancient song, kind of tucked away in Psalm 119, that has a surprising secret to not just surviving that journey, but actually thriving on it. And today, in this explainer from the You Need Faith in Jesus team, we're going to unlock that secret together. And really, it all comes down to this one big question. When you think about God's commands, what's your first reaction? Do you see them as this big, heavy list of don'ts that's just meant to hold you back? Or could they be something totally different? Maybe even a beautiful melody, a song for your journey. The answer might just change how you see everything. Every journey has to start somewhere. And for the pilgrim, that first step is all about getting a real, solid hope. We're not talking about wishful thinking here. This is a hope that's anchored, firmly rooted in the promises of God Himself. So let's just pause and really listen to what the psalmist is saying. This isn't just some generic prayer he's rattling off. No, this is personal. It's almost bold. He's basically saying, God, remember that promise? You're the one who gave me this hope to begin with. You started this, and now I'm holding you to your word. And that right there is where he gets his confidence, even when his world is shaky. And if you break it down, it's this powerful 1-2 punch of faith. First, he pleads the promise God gave him. Then he finds his comfort in that same promise. And that comfort isn't just a warm, fuzzy feeling. The word used here, quickened, means to be made alive. It's like a defibrillator for the soul. When he feels like he's flatlining from his troubles, God's word literally shocks him back to life. Of course, that life-giving hope gets put to the test almost immediately. Because let's be honest, this journey is rarely a smooth, easy ride. So, let's take a look at how the psalmist handles those inevitable bumps in the road, especially when people are mocking him and his heart is breaking. Can you just imagine that for a second? The proud, the cool kids, the arrogant, the influential people are constantly making fun of him. It's not just a one-off comment. It's a relentless barrage of ridicule. And yet, look at his response. His resolve is like a rock. He doesn't budge. He doesn't even flinch. His commitment to God's way is his anchor in that storm of criticism. And this just lays out that conflict so clearly. On one side, you've got all this intense pressure and ridicule coming from the world. But on the other, you have the pilgrim's unwavering internal resolve. See, his faithfulness to God matters more to him than being accepted by everyone else. That's a powerful challenge for us today, for sure. So what's his secret? How does he stay so strong when everyone's trying to tear him down? Well, he has this 2-part strategy. First, he looks back. He remembers all the times in history that God has been faithful. And second, he looks around. And what he sees just breaks his heart. He feels this deep, gut-wrenching horror watching people walk away from the very God who loves them. And those two feelings are totally connected. Remembering God's past judgments gives him the confidence that God is still in control. It's a huge source of comfort. And that horror he feels, that's not him being all high and mighty or judgmental. No, that's his heart beating in sync with God's heart. The things that grieve God grieve him. And that's a real sign of spiritual maturity. Okay, so now we're getting to the very heart of this whole passage. It's this beautiful idea, this amazing metaphor that reveals the secret to not just getting through the journey, but actually finding joy in it. This right here, this changes everything. Wow. This is the game changer right here. Think about it. For most people, rules, laws, statutes, they're a drag. They feel like a burden. But the psalmist, he's discovered a secret. He's figured out how to turn God's commands into the soundtrack for his life. It's his personal playlist of joy and hope that keeps him moving forward when the road gets lonely. This is that perspective shift we were talking about. God's commands were never meant to weigh us down. They're actually the melody that sustains us, the rhythm that guides us, and the music that can fill our hearts with joy, especially when the journey gets rough. So how do we keep that music playing, especially when we're walking through those dark nights of the soul? Well, the psalmist gives us the key. He says he remembered thy name. And that doesn't just mean recalling a title. It means meditating on who God is, his character, his goodness, his faithfulness, his power. It's like a spiritual power-up that recharges our souls and gives us the strength to keep going. All right, so what does all of this mean for you and me right now? Let's bring it all together and boil this down into a practical, actionable toolkit that you can start using on your own journey, like today. And here's the final piece of the puzzle. It's so important we get this right. The psalmist isn't bragging here. He's not saying, look how good I was, so God had to bless me. No, he's saying that obedience is the path where we get to experience God's blessings. It's not about earning God's favor. It's about walking in the place where his favor is poured out. Okay, so let's pack our own pilgrim's toolkit. Ready? Step 1, plead God's promises. Boldly hold God to his word. Step 2, find comfort in his word. Let it be the thing that brings you back to life. Step 3, remain faithful under pressure. Don't let what other people think knock you off course. Step 4, turn his commands into songs. Actively look for the joy in obedience. And finally, step 5, remember his name in the night. When it's dark, focus on his character and let that be your strength. And that leaves us with one last, really personal question. I want you to think about your life right now, your own pilgrimage. Which one of God's commands or promises or truths are you going to choose to turn from a burden into a song for your journey today?